Hi, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about Attack on Titan. I almost want to make that the whole entire stream where we just get through the anime series. Because I just woke up and I'm so tired. It's just one of those days. It's very hot here. It's Texas weather. It's shitty Texas weather. Kylo is chilling. Kylo was being so needy last night. And I know why. It's not his fault. It's the fact of the matter is he wanted it was way late and he wanted pure attention. He was like, it's 2 a.m. and it's cuddle time. And he like the moment we got to bed, he just like pressed up against me and just rubbed his little face on me and is like, this is it's bedtime now.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay. I felt a little bad. I was all like, I am trying to complete a game. I'm trying to beat this level so I don't die. And he kept getting in the way. He kept jumping in front of the screen the moment a boss was about to kill me. And I'm like, Kylo, God damn it. I'm trying not to die. He would exit out of the screen and I'd be like, no! I'm gonna die.
Oh, kittens.
Yes. I do want to talk about Attack on Titan, and we were talking about music earlier.
Oh yeah, you finally caught up with the most recent season.
Can I just gush about that opening? That opening is fire. It is so good.
The new opening.
The new opening is my favorite opening, and golly, visually and the music is just amazing. I want to like cover that song. I actually like tried to learn it, and I might try to record it and send it to you if you're down.
Okay, yeah, I'd be down to.
Because I think I've gotten it. I've been listening to it over and over again, and I've been trying to play it on bass.
Definitely like the like World War I vibes that the larger world they brought in.
Yeah.
And like World War I, World War II, and there's like the fascist imagery of the Marley Empire.
That's the whole entire concept of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, but it's more overt in this latest season than the older ones.
It's less. Well, the older ones were dealing with like the philosophy of those ideals, and like Wisecrack did a really good video of diving into that because I was all like, I didn't realize how deep they went into this concept of utilitarianism through fascist Germany. At least that's the lens they looked at it through.
I definitely need. I love Wisecrack. I definitely need to check out that video.
Yeah, they spanned the whole entire thing and also like My Mother's Basement and Giga kind of touch on this, and they touch on the cultural and the historical context around specifically World War II is what I think Attack on Titan's director is referencing. Like, yeah, World War I and stuff like that, but I think they're touching more on World War II because of...
I mean, the uniforms and the whole like fascist Nazi element of like the armbands and stuff is definitely more World War II, but a lot of like the technology is more World War I-ish.
Yeah. Well, those wars were like super close to each other. Because like,
a couple decades apart.
Was it a couple of decades? Because I thought it was like 19.
A decade, I guess.
Because you still had the Japanese-Chinese war that was going long after that. Because they were having their whole entire spit.
World War I ended in 1917, and then World War II was the mid-30s.
Oh shoot, yeah, that's right. 1933 specifically. That's when Germany invaded Poland.
Yeah,
but
I mean, there's that true. I was just gonna say that. I mean, what do you consider there's so much stuff building to that moment that you might consider within the realm of World War II history. But yeah, that is Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hitler. Yeah. The more I read about that guy, he just seems like a jerk. I don't know why he's so popular.
But anyways, back on Attack on Titan. I feel like Attack on Titan said on all this discourse because Attack on Titan is one of those shows
It
That's
is.
very. It's got a political mess. Let's be real here. It's not just war is bad. There is Attack on Titan goes into a very deep
Oh,
idealism. Like okay, so like for one,
the show's side, so like no matter what your insane thing you believe, I mean, I've heard like real fucking like fascist white supremacist people latch onto the show as like their favorite show because they feel like it espouses their point of view.
it kind of does.
A lot of ways.
Again, watch that Wisecrack
Like,
video because in the Wisecrack video they even say we do not support like. Well, go ahead.
It kind of shows both sides, yeah.
Yeah. What shows it's like Super Trooper. It shows how easy it can be to get adopted into both sides. Like because the way I say this is very interesting because again, Wisecrack, like I highly recommend watching that video. Because they even say at the beginning, disclaimer, we do not support fascism. We're not fascists or da-da-da. We're just exploring the ideals of this because it's a very controversial topic. And it's one that Attack on Titan uses a lot. Attack on Titan puts its finger on a very divisive philosophical idea. And I'm glad how it's paying off in the new season because, like, spoilers alert, if you haven't watched Attack on Titan, go watch Attack on Titan. All of it. Because we're about to get into Season 4. So, with that said, getting into Season 4. One, the opening is fire. We've talked about that. I want to cover that.
Oh, yeah.
But, go ahead.
Oh, keep going. I was just nodding along.
Okay. So that very first episode, we're dropped into, like, we're like, what the fuck is going on? Is this the future? Is this the past? What's, because we're just dropped into a middle of like a World War I scenario where they're in the trenches, they're doing bombs, developing new technology. This is obviously World War I, but in this,
I'm going to say when the first episode started off, I did not know when. Like, I don't know. I thought it might be a flashback. The couple of those little kids looked like young Reiner and Berthold. Yeah. I thought it might be like them growing up.
Well, also,
it wasn't until towards the end of that first episode I was like, oh, when actual like older Reiner and Zeke showed up, I was like, oh, okay,
we're in the future. Well,
yeah. Also,
keep in mind that when we do the flashbacks are like, because when we go to the flashback to see Aaron's dad in Season 3, we're in World War I era. Because remember, there's still Zeppelins, there's still all that technology going on.
Yeah.
And we find out that the world is vastly different. In fact, if we continue in the lore and in the books, I believe, this is supposed to be a post-apocalyptic world. So it's like, so like our world right now, the world we live in, died, and we're like 1,000 to 2,000 years into the future, where civilization's kind of restarted.
Yeah, rebuilt itself from the ground up.
Yeah, so that's why you still see like all this modern
early 1900s kind of point.
Yeah, so like that's why I was all like, this could be a flashback to what happened before. Like this could be like how like because they were talking about Titans and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, is this how it all started? And then we got to the Eren Yeager saga. Is this like the prequel? Are we setting up like to learn the history of?
Yeah, like I said, I thought it might be young Reiner and Berthold.
Yeah.
So it was like 10 years before the first season or whatever.
So and then but we're obviously dropped into this World War I era style, where we start to see like. One side where a character's trying to like help them out and stuff like that. We get to develop in these characters and stuff like that, and you're just like, what the? I literally that first whole episode, even after the Rainer and stuff showed up at the end of the episode, or not the end. It was like the middle.
Yeah, about 2/3 of the way through before they dropped out of the blimp.
Yeah, I was still like in shock. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Oh yeah, this season takes its time, or it's popped off now. But like those first 5 episodes or so, absolutely nothing happened. It's all
I
just world
disagree.
building and backstory.
I disagree. I think so much happens in those
I mean, in terms of like giant action, like compared to the last 2 episodes to the first 5, in terms of crazy function action set pieces and stuff, it pops off around episode 6.
Okay, yeah. I think, see, like, for me, I find it, like, I didn't even realize I went through all 7 episodes until I went through all 7 episodes.
It goes so slow, like barely anything happens in an episode, like especially when you count in like the previously on opening credits, closing credits, and next time thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're only getting about 15 to 18 minutes of new animation per episode.
Yeah, but, like, see,
So it goes like it's gone before like the ending credits kick on and you're like, wait, well, that's it?
yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. I don't think it goes, I don't think it's slow. It's not slow paced. And it's not slow. It's like perfect pacing. So I think so much
beautifully
happens.
paced. I love
the build
way
up.
it's paced.
I think the
I love the way it builds this up. I'm just saying, there's only like 8 or 9 more episodes left, and like, this is the final season. There's only like 9 episodes left in the show.
We'll get there.
So,
I still want to talk about episode 1.
I don't know how.
You're the equivalent of those people who are like, you're like, I'm like, okay, well, hold on.
I'm excited to talk about it. I have no nerd friends that I see in person.
I know your passion comes through in spades, and I love it.
All right.
No, I want to set up
continue.
episode 1 because there's a lot to unpack in it. Because 1, we're introduced to these new characters. 2, we're seeing a whole different side, especially when we find out that like it's Rainer
basically
and
a
Zeke.
completely new world compared to what the last 3 seasons were.
Exactly. And not only that, but we're getting a different side and a different dynamic and a different story of how these characters live. So they come back from the war. We find out that they're slaves. Not even slaves, but like there's internment camps.
It's basically like the Jews in World War II, or the way we treated the Japanese in World War II.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Yeah, and on top of that, or you've watched Ip Man, right, on Netflix?
I'm sorry, which one?
Ip Man, IP Man.
I've seen the first 2 movies. Is there like a separate Netflix adaptation?
There's a 4th one, and there's 3 prequels.
Okay, I've seen the first 2.
They're all good, by the way. But you've seen the first one.
Donnie Yen.
So the first one was the Chinese-Japanese War, and remember, the Chinese got put in internment camps by the Japanese as well under World War II as well, because there was a whole war going on over there as well. And I feel like that one closely aligns with this as well, because if you think about it, season 3, he wants to go across the seas and stuff like that. I
get the parallels there.
Yeah. So this is just, I'm using all of my knowledge that I have to tear apart this whole entire series, and I want to tear it episode by episode because there's so much going on. I found myself intrigued and entertained, and I found myself like my heart racing throughout each episode.
It's intense, especially the last couple.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, no spoilers. I don't want to jump ahead, but Attack on Titan really earns every moment.
Yeah. They squeezed
like
every little
bit of victory is so hard fought, and so like victories get snatched out of their hands so often that when something good does happen, you really feel it. But they have that bad habit that they've done dozens of times where like they got the enemy on the ropes and they're like, oh, I finally beat this guy. Now let me just take a moment to hang out here and wait for something to screw up my victory before actually finishing him off. Sorry, no, coworker had a question.
Okay. I was all like, what happened?
The most recent episode ended with one of those moments where like, oh yeah, I won. I don't know. I just gotta finish this guy off. But let's just hang out here and tableau for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Until something comes along to screw it up.
Yeah. It's one. Well, I understand why, but like, okay, so
It's frustrating from a storytelling standpoint.
It is.
Especially when it happens so often. I get one or two moments like that, but it's like every time they're like on the verge of victory, they're like, let me just stand here a moment to savor it, and then like, a Titan jumps up behind them and whatever screws it up.
Yeah.
No, you hear what's going on behind you. Just finish doing what you're doing. You literally, there's no reason that you aren't hitting that thing right now.
Well, because in the first episode, we see that in the turret where they're gonna shoot, and they're like, should we shoot her? I don't know. It's just a random little girl, but
that's different. Because debating whether or not to shoot a child, they had no reason to believe that she was a threat. That was the whole ploy, really. But Aaron's already decided he's going to eat this guy.
Yeah.
And then he hears Reiner transforming behind him, and he's just standing there. Just fucking take the bite. Right there.
Well, it's a little bit more than that. We'll get into that.
Waiting around that. That's how they weren't able to kill Zeke at the end of season 3. Well, you fucking waited.
I need to watch the end of season 3 as well. I don't disagree, but I have a few caveats.
They could have killed both of them. They had them are basically dead, then they just waited around for someone to rescue them instead of finishing them off. And that really pissed me off.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. So jumping back to episode 1, because I'm really trying to do this analysis because I think it's important, and it's something that I've wanted to talk, because you want to talk about the end, and I want to talk about the beginning and the end, because I just recently binged
I watched that beginning episode a month ago.
I know. You watched it a month ago. So but I feel like you had time to sit with it a lot more then. But maybe I overthink it a lot more then. I don't know. But it's because you get that first episode, you see them in the train, you get to see how human they are. We get to see this whole entire
I love the whole building, the world building, and the kind of slow burn exploration.
Yeah.
Just I said, they have so little time to
but yeah, we get to see this whole different side of Reiner, and Zeke and all this stuff like that. We get to see
I still hate them.
You still hate them?
Yeah, Reiner, he just kill yourself.
Jesus!
Gets so close. He doesn't want to live.
He doesn't. But well, again, we'll get into that. But
also, I don't understand why they all work. It's all executed as serving the elites thing. It's tough.
Yeah. Wait, what? That was a sentence, right?
Not really. Not especially.
I was trying to decipher what you said, and I don't know.
I could have abandoned the whole Marlesian thing and just chilled out on the island. Didn't need to go back to those people.
Well, that's the point. And again, we'll get into that, because in the first episode, we also get to see.
I understand that's what he's struggling with, but I wish. No, he's not going to resolve it in any way.
He might.
Doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it. So either he will or he'll die, and I just want to get to that conclusion eventually. I'm stuck on these cliffhangers every week. It's tough.
You're like, fuck these cliffhangers. I mean, that's the.
Don't like cliffhangers. That's why usually when I watch stuff, I wait till a season or a half season or whatever is done, and then binge watch it all in one.
Well, I think
go.
See, but I think there's an inherent. Not always. Some shows are built like that. I feel like Attack on Titan is a show that you need to sit with for a week. It is a show that wants to make you think, and if you just binge watch it, you don't Think about it.
I can think and binge at the same time.
Reiner, we get to see his point of view, where like because he's been indoctrinated since he was 12. He's been
He's
indoctrinated.
also got a split personality thing going on now from his time undercover.
Yeah, there's that, but I think
And he also wants to kill himself, as evidenced by when he put a gun in his mouth and begged for death.
yeah. Again, we'll get to that, but to
In the first episode, we're there.
No, that's not the first episode. That's the third episode.
Well, the second episode, then. Okay, then. The
Third
first
episode.
3 episodes, they're all like one long thing anyway.
The first episode is we're still in the first episode where because I'm telling you there's a lot there. I know you think it's a slow burn and it's all one thing where nothing happens, but there's a lot that happens.
There's a lot there. Just because it's slow doesn't mean there's not a lot there.
Okay, fair enough. I always equate when people say
honestly,
it's like,
because
it's so slow,
there's
like,
more there because it's taking its time to build on these things.
Yeah. Well, you build on Reiner's ideas of because it has a lot to say where it's like you're thinking about the ideas and you're thinking about the struggle of this person who's been indoctrinated, and you can equate this to a lot of the things that are going on in our society right now, as well as what's been going on.
I know
in Nazi Germany, where you're built up on this idea that these people are evil, these people are hated,
I've seen it before. I know this. I've seen it done a million times. I get it.
Well, damn.
I know what tropes they're playing into. It's cool. Move on.
Well, fine. I don't think anyone was surprised when the guy with the blue eyes and the weird mustache, that was not Aaron. That was obviously Aaron. He showed up on screen and I'm like, that's Aaron.
Well, yeah, obviously he has very distinct eyes, and also he used, the name Kruger.
Yeah.
It was kind of a dead giveaway.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even before that. I was just all like, okay, so Aaron's here. So like it was a lot of the stuff was a little obvious and stuff like that. Shoot, man, we're just blowing past all the episodes because the episodes. Really,
I know. It's fine to move through them.
I know, but I wanted to talk about them.
Every single scene.
I don't know. I find it interesting though because it's like yes, they're playing into those tropes. Yes, they're playing into the identity and stuff like that. But I feel like they're doing it on a deeper level that I haven't seen before. I haven't seen characters struggle this hard with like there's movies and live action things I've seen where they're like you see an actor and they're like, wow, he was a friend of mine. I mean, Memories 1111 is a game I played that deals with this exact conflict. And yet Attack on Titan, in my opinion, has done it so much better because they've really dived into the mental state.
It's done very well. I agree.
Like, I don't know. I just find that fascinating because it's on a deeper level. It's more than just oh wow, this person and I are the same, and they've dived into this deep state of how it happens and how easy it is for it to happen.
You must not watch a lot of war movies.
I don't. I mean, I've played a few war games. I've watched a few war movies.
I grew up watching a lot of World War II movies.
Yeah.
So I've seen people struggling with the whole indoctrination thing a lot of different ways.
Okay.
For me, this is a familiar trope rather than new ground or new territory. It's done very well, but it's not as groundbreaking to me. I guess it is for you with less exposure to it.
Yeah, I don't have that much exposure to it. I like because also I feel like I feel like people who watch Attack on Titan, I feel like if they want to understand how easy it is to become like a QAnon supporter, how easy, because I feel like a lot more often than not, we dismiss them as being idiots, or we're like, wow, they're fascist, racist, and while they're not entirely wrong. I feel like it takes the humanity out of the people we criticize and the people that like the people who who did the insurrection at the Capitol and stuff like that, are terrible
Yeah.
people. They are terrible
Yeah,
people.
but
But
putting them as like cartoonishly evil villains is not productive line of thinking.
No, I feel like
it's dismissive in a way that hurts your own integrity.
exactly. And so I feel like Attack on Titan, it's weird. I feel like Attack on Titan, especially season 4, is hitting at the exact right moment, at least for the US, if not the whole world.
I'm told Last of Us Part 2 does as well and sort of humanizing your enemies.
I haven't played Last of Us 2.
You played the first one?
Nope.
You should pick them up. They are worth checking out.
I want to. If I can get through the plethora of other video games that I have, they are things that are also on my list. I see this whole entire setup of how easy it is to not only just get enveloped in this world, but to have your ideas shattered.
Well, not so much that it's easy to be indoctrinated. It's that it's hard to fight against a system set up to indoctrinate you.
Yeah.
Like Reiner didn't get a choice not to be a zealot. It's based on the societal structure he was born into.
Yes. And to deep further that point, we see Falco.
And that's what the Falco, Grease, Gabby, and everyone, they are a way to show what happened to Reiner without flashing back. You are actively seeing these kids radicalized by this system.
Yeah. And they're also the self-hatred they have for themselves as well. It's so easy.
Exactly.
I feel like
that's the problem. That's one of the big things. That when you stand back from it, you can be like, oh, why are they like letting themselves be? Because they're basically Marletians tell the Ymir people, like, you're a piece of shit. It's your own fault. It's these people on the islands fault that you're a piece of shit and deserve how you're treating. So go kill those people for us. It's convoluted. When you step back, be like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. It's like, no, it's like I said, it's a system that's been set in place to dehumanize them and turn them on themselves.
And I want to stress that point specifically because you see that because they always use something called the devil's blood. The devil's blood is in them. I am cursed by the devil. They often say
there's the religious zealot element to it.
And I want to do this parallel because I have like there are with everything happening with Black Lives Matter, with everything happening, there are black people who have come out supporting white supremacy. And there are people who like people I know and people who I've talked to who like are people of color who damn themselves. I've never seen so much self-hatred disguised not as self-hatred.
Not a new thing. I mean, that's what Uncle Tom's Cabin was.
Yeah. And it when you see this, it's so because it's something that's not talked about. It's something that I wish was talked about, but I understand why it's not talked about because it would hurt the movement. It would hurt the movement if Black Lives Matter would be like, oh yeah, there's a large majority of black people who don't support Black Lives Matter. And it's mind-boggling.
I have a few of them in my town where like they're full-on QAnon Trump supporters.
And more often than not, they are religious zealots. They are people who are evangelists. Like I've talked to a whole black church, and they were at first wanted to work with me, until they realized that they were working that like it was like, oh, that doesn't really align with our evangelical belief. We kind of support Trump and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, but like so like you see this like where they damn themselves. And it's so overt, and it was so weird, especially just because of the work that I do. Watching Attack on Titan, like every single episode, it was just like watching and having an inside look into this world that we exist in right now in reality, the world that I have seen.
There are some uncomfortable parallels in there.
So like I wanted to more address those, which is why I wanted to go episode by episode, because I feel like there's
I see why you want to get so in depth with it now.
Yeah,
you want to tie it into the state of the world as it is, rather than just talk about the fictional world.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what I wanted to do.
that
was the
well.
idea.
At least I understand your reasoning and motivation.
Yeah, because you're right. We have seen these tropes before. I have seen these tropes before, but again, I haven't seen them in this much depth and this well done.
They're definitely the way they are so topical to today's political landscape definitely makes them hit a lot harder.
Which should say a lot, because like it's weird, because like we look at stuff, like obviously we look at stuff 60 years ago, like people will pull up comics and be like, wow, this is so relevant to today, and it's like that's a problem if it's been persisting for 80 years.
Yeah, it's I saw an interesting tweet recently where someone said the Simpsons didn't predict the future, we just haven't fixed any of our problems since 1989.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's just like it's all that shit's still so relevant today is because we have the same systemic problems that we did back then.
Yep.
Just expressed a little differently.
Pretty much. And so, like, I want to say this for you right now. If you're this antsy about it, you could always read the manga.
I plan on...
Because the manga's done.
No, well, it's ending in April.
Oh, it's ending in April?
Yeah, there's still a few more chapters left.
Oh, shit. So they're running parallel right now, then, pretty much.
The anime is going to have a different ending than the manga.
Really?
It kind of has to, just because so much more has happened in the manga that they don't have time to cover in the anime.
Which is kind of sad.
Oh, not really. It's honestly, I think it's better in this case that it does something different.
Fair enough. I do want to. I want to pick up the manga. I read when season 3 came out. I read like the first episode of season 3, not like when it ended, but like when season 3 first came out. I read the manga up until that point, which I found it was very, because it goes in detail. It goes in extreme detail about everything. It goes in detail about the basement and the key. It goes into detail about the Titans, their powers, their ability, the history.
World building in the manga, which I'm interested in.
Yeah, but yeah,
but especially since I'll be able to read it start to finish. It's Excel for me.
Yeah. Oh shoot! I just realized. Yeah, if the anime is gonna have a different ending, the anime is gonna finish before the manga does.
Looks like it.
Interesting.
At least a month or two.
Yeah.
Unless they, I don't know, decide to tie up the anime series with like an OVA or a movie or something.
I hope not.
Probably a possibility. I mean, I'd rather have a clean ending. I just don't know how you get to that point with so few episodes left.
Well, I mean, if we look at the trope and we look at the patterns Attack on Titan has laid out for us, I hope they don't pull a Game of Thrones. But if we look at everything in the build up and the way, like, because again, I'm trying to tie it into everything that's going on, because there is like a lot of like stuff that you see happening, where like you said, it's not just the how easy it is to get indoctrinated, but rather fighting a system that has indoctrinated you into this set of mind thinking, and then seeing something that shatters that whole entire world apart and struggling to like reconcile with, has everything I've done been wrong? Because that's what the whole now getting into it, where we see like the humanity and we see how people in power can manipulate people who don't have a lot of knowledge or anything like that, their whole entire worlds. Like for example, when they do the festival, these people who have been treated like dog shit their whole entire lives are now being treated as actual humans, as actual people who are a part of. Because you see it on the different levels, right?
You see that it was only to put them in the line of fire.
Yeah, but you also see it with because the commander's not one of the Eldians. He's a mayor, Maillard. Fuck, what's the word?
Alien.
Marlian. He's a Marlian, right?
Relation.
The commander's a Marlian, but he sees his unit as humans. He's even called out on it, where he's all like, "Why do you care about them? They're just, they're just
Cannon fodder.
yeah, they're just cannon fodder. They're just like, devils. They're nothing but devils. Why do you care if they live or die?" And you can see that he cares about them because they are part of his unit. He's got so that you see this deeper level of multiple characters going through this like reconciliation of like, are they really devils? Are they really this? Are they really that? And they're all like within different levels are fighting this indoctrination that they've been taught, but they see these people as humans, right? Reiner's fighting with Paradise.
Where that they know treating that the way is wrong, but letting this corrupt system stay in place lets them personally live in comfort.
Yes, like you said, it doesn't justify it, but I mean, he even the guy who
even if they don't believe in the the whole religious zealot aspect of it, that these things are subhuman, demonic things, and they deserve to be treated that way. It's just like, if I'm not going to fight the system because it allows me to live in comfort.
Yeah, exactly.
It's corrupt, but it's corrupted in a way that benefits me personally.
Yeah, which is again relates to the GOP we were just talking about earlier. It's weird how what we talked about earlier perfectly transitions.
No, it's tying together too nicely.
Remind
me to tip your writers. Bringing it full circle.
But like so going into that, we also see like it's weird too, because it also shows how like people can, like, for example, he's like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, right? And so he goes on stage and he starts speaking the truth while Eren Yeager and Reiner are talking about the past, and Falco is here listening in on this whole entire history. The guy is all like talking about like the truth about what happened and stuff like that, and they do it in such a weird way, because he's all like, he talks about it in a way that makes you feel like, oh, is he finally gonna give the Eldians an apology, and like he's gonna like make sure they're not like devils and stuff like that, because he talks about it where it's all like, we curse the Eldians and stuff like that. But
he sold out his race for his family's own personal, well, not him personally, but his family.
Yeah.
Sold out Eldians for comfort, money.
Yeah. And he says that, but then he immediately says, die, you with the devil's blood that's inside of you. Like,
yeah,
in the same speech, not even in like I'm not even talking about the flashback when they're in the car and talking about that. In the speech itself, he is all like, die for your country and vanquish the devil's blood. Like, he ties it in so neatly too. That speech is really it's
all political theater meant to push their agenda.
Exactly,
in a literal sense.
And it was, but it's so weird because you see this. You also see this again in where like you see people, or you meet people who are like, I support Black Lives Matter, but I don't feel like we should change anything. Those people that go online and will voice their opinions, but they don't want to change the system.
They matter, but not enough to do anything.
Exactly. Or they will be like, I support you. And I saw this recently in our own thing, but they're like, yeah, we will publicly support you until we don't want to. And they will they play this balancing act where they're like, I support this, but I also feel like we shouldn't do anything. And also I feel like there's this one thing where like I was watching a podcast. Someone sent it to me. It's not a good one. But basically it's this guy is saying like, we need to come together. But the real problem is the Democrats. They are fucking devils, and they destroy our economy, and they're the reason why everything is wrong. But we need to come together and work with Democrats, because they're not all bad, but they are bad, and they also destroy our country. And it's like, which is it? Like, are they bad, or do they destroy our country, or do we need to work with them, or do we not need to work with them? because but this speech does it in such a way where like you're listening to it and you're like you see how easy it is and how much it makes sense even though it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, well, it's very manipulative in a subtle way.
And now we get into the whole explosions. We see all the plans coming up. We see all this setup that's been building up, and how this plan is now coming together. I'm so happy for Armin. He is becoming the commander.
Yeah, it is good to have him kind of.
He's like,
I mean, we haven't gotten to see that much, but it seems he's sort of taken up Erwin's legacy.
I mean, they even call it out. They're like, "What, did you get possessed by Erwin or something?"
Exactly.
And
I'm interested to see what happens with that. It's because it just started. Like he only showed up in the last episode.
yeah, and going into like because obviously Reiner's struggling. He tried to commit suicide. That is a whole entire scene in of itself.
I knew he wasn't just for story purposes, but I kind of wanted him to.
That would have been interesting. But like he didn't have like the will to like live and stuff like that. He begged for Eren to kill him. Essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And if you're joining, we're sorry. We're talking Attack on Titan spoilers if you haven't seen it. We're almost done. We're on the final episode. We kind of breezed through a lot of the stuff, but we still got some of the major hitting points I wanted to talk about.
Covered the broad strokes and the philosophy.
Yeah.
Not the individual story beats.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just make a video because I do want to talk about this stuff and how eerily it parallels to a lot of stuff.
We got the whole other back half of the season to talk about it. Yeah. I mean, those themes aren't going away. No,
that's true. But I feel like it's gonna because the action is kicking up. I think that's gonna take its place. And I'll now go further into that. But going into this,
the way they do things, there'll be a 2 or 3 action heavy episodes, and then they'll slow down for a little bit to focus more on story and world building.
Yeah. But damn, what an action episode! Like the build up from when he just explodes and everything just goes chaotic. Damn, is that beautiful?
Oh yeah, yes, and satisfying.
We also get to see Gene. Apparently, he's still struggling with the same things he struggled in episode 1 of Attack on Titan, where he can't find the courage to just get the job done. And at first, I'm not gonna lie. In the first 3 seasons, I'm like, Gene, get your shit together, dude.
Gene or Jean?
Jean, I'm sorry.
Or okay, I was to make sure we're talking about the same person. Also, for some reason, I thought he was dead. I guess I just assumed. So many other people are. Yeah. When he showed back, I was like, oh wait, he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. He was alive in the last episode of season 3. He was in the lineup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. It's just so many people die in the show. So it's hard to.
So many people die. So many characters that you get enveloped with. But, like, also Mikasa with that short hair. Holy crap. Okay.
Oh, yeah. When her, and especially when Levi showed back up, I was very pumped.
Yes.
Seeing Levi be able to get some revenge.
Yeah. Well, Mikasa seems to have a little bit of... Because before, Mikasa was like, I'll do anything for you, Eren. Now she's all like, Eren, do you have any idea what you did? What the fuck?
I mean, deservedly so.
Oh, yeah, deservedly so. But, like, Mikasa seems to be, like, less about, I'll do anything for you, and now more like, okay, listen here. Like, I'm still going to do stuff for you, but, listen here.
I support you, but, like, think about it for a second before you do anything completely insane.
Yeah, pretty much. She's like, I'm gonna start calling you out a little bit more.
Which is good. I mean, that kind of deserves.
It deserves to be
called out on this bullshit.
Yeah. And also, Aaron, you know what? The mustache and the beard do not bother me that much. He is 20 years old. Doesn't really bother me that much.
I wouldn't mind if he had like some stubble, but he has like this weird, like wispy. I just don't like the way. It's not that big of a deal. I whine about it more than it deserves to be whined about, but it is kind of dumb looking.
I don't know.
Like,
it doesn't bother me at all.
Me in the first season. Levi's hair and his like forehead, the way they drew him in season 1, he had like a very like blocky, squared off forehead that bugged me a little bit. It's kind of reminiscent of that. It's not that it by itself is that bad. It's just kind of the way they draw it is kind of dumb looking.
Okay, I see.
It's a small criticism of an otherwise fantastic show.
Oh yeah, I felt
like I had to pick something to criticize.
Something has to be bad about this.
And it's just not a great. It's less about how it looks on him than just I know what that kind of facial hair looks like in the real world, and it's not great.
I've had that facial hair.
No, and it was terrible.
I don't disagree. The action pumps up, and there's a lot that goes on, and specifically, Jean, he fails to kill Gabby as well, and the Titan.
Just the way it's like Gabby caught a good glimpse of Sasha. Like I've heard, like hesitantly, I'm like, oh, like shit, it's a kid.
Yeah. So did Jean though. Jean saw it and he's all like, fuck, because he.
No, but I'm saying that like Gabby took a look at Sasha and like, oh, I'm gonna murder this bitch.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's gonna end up happening. That's how she's gonna die. That is my prediction for the rest of the season.
That's how the season ends. She dies.
I mean, I don't know where the plot's going to go in sort of a larger sense, but I feel like that's coming and I'm dreading it.
Oh, I know. She's one of your favorites.
Yeah, Potato Girl.
And there's Connor as well.
He's good. He came into his own in an interesting way.
Yeah. Well, after his whole he found out his family was Titans and stuff like that.
Yeah. He's not overpowered like a lot of the other characters are. Like Levi, I love him, but it's kind of unfair how overly powerful him and Mikasa are.
Well, they're just really skilled in aerodynamic.
Yeah, but like too much of a degree. I feel like the series might be more interesting if like how I said, like I kind of like I lost a little bit of interest when Eren first turned into a Titan. So I was like locked into that like normal people fighting giants kind of thing.
I see.
I like what they've done with it, but it is interesting and satisfying without so much of the supernatural elements.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe they can. I like it. Like,
I think it would be interesting to see a similar concept, but without all these supernatural elements. Like 99% of the characters aren't. You know, like that's most of the people getting squashed and eaten in the background are the normal people, and I feel like Connor and Sasha are in that realm where they're just skilled enough to keep surviving from episode to episode, as opposed to people like Levi, Mikasa, and then Eren and Armin, where they basically have superpowers. I mean, Mikasa and Levi aren't transforming into giants or whatever, but still the whole Ackerman thing, I'm not 100% sure what that means. I think they have some sort of supernatural adrenal gland that gives them boosts in their reaction time.
I thought the way I interpreted Ackerman was just another word for
It's not the same as Eldian. It's referring to like a specific family line that worked as like royal guards, basically. But wondering if it will be either has been explored in the comics or will be at some point in the anime that they have some kind of genetic abnormality that gives them boosted strength or reaction speeds and shit. Like, they produce more adrenaline. That's why they're able to do what they do. 'Cause they're definitely have supernatural and sort of like reflexes and reaction times and they've described
their
it like
family.
and yeah they've just Levi's spoken to it like when he's in an intense situation and like in a battle he feels like a surge of something that gives him that extra whatever, and it seems like adrenaline based in a way, and I wonder if that's like the in-universe explanation too. Don't read. If I wanted to go to the Attack on Titan wiki and read that and spoil it for myself, I would. So don't you dare!
I won't.
Don't you dare, man!
I
The
won't.
Attack on Titan wiki to me.
I just forgot it was a whole entire thing, and I forgot that Levi spoke on it.
He was in his whole origin as an orphan growing up.
I know, but I'm telling you, it's been so long since I've watched that, I forgot it.
For, one of those minor kind of inconsequential criticisms of the series coming from season 3. It takes a lot of wind out of the sails, dramatic anime yelling the name Kenny. They have animes like, yeah, but when the person's yelling name Kenny, it loses a lot of its effect. It's like you couldn't have given that guy literally any other name.
I think Kenny's fine.
It's just whole dramatically screaming the name Kenny. Maybe it is South Park that ruins it for me, but
I would agree so.
But it was kind of funny
to
reference. The name Kenny.
It'd be funny though, is if like the director or some like voice actor, animator, or whatever, the scriptwriter was like watching South Park, and they'd be like, I feel like the character's name should be Kenny, and when he dies, they should be like screaming Kenny.
You bastard.
Exactly. No, but like a bunch of stuff happens. So a bunch of stuff happens with like them trying to fend off the Titan attacks. They are decimating it. You get into this aspect of, well, Eren is no longer the good guy. He is the bad guy. The anime specifically tells you, well, I guess I'm the bad guy, but I guess you guys were the bad guys too when you went and invaded my whole entire village. Setting up that this season, I feel like Eren and all of them are gonna die. Like, they are the bad guy in this show. We've been, every season 3, we've gotten to we've been indoctrinated. I think that is
possibly Eren, like, him having eventually, like, he kind of becomes a little too radicalized and they have to fight and often finish him.
Well, I think they've all been radicalized. Because remember, Armin and Mikasa, all of them have been decimated by the Titans. And they all came from Reiner's land. So to establish that, just like Reiner has been indoctrinated in his world, Attack on Titan has kind of indoctrinated us into Eren's world and their whole entire thing on Paradise Island. And so
9% of the people over there are fine just chilling on their own. As long if the Shifter Titans were taken out of the equation, I mean, that would be the best game for everyone else involved.
If the what?
Shifter Titans, like the people who can become Titans at will. That's what they're called.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know, because it doesn't fix all the systemic problems that are going on.
It doesn't, but it's a start, and it would remove the incentive for other people to abuse and enslave Eldians.
Yeah, which is
all the reason why the Marlesian Empire hasn't eradicated Eldians is they basically need to
them to breed more Titans to use as a tool.
I know. So if you got rid of the Titans, that would make it very hard on the Eldians.
They would lose their military strength, which is becoming obsolete as modern weapons are developed.
Yeah, which is stressed in episode 1 during the meeting, where they talk about again.
Anti-Titan armaments are becoming.
Well, I mean, Aaron and his people have anti-Titan stuff as well.
Like the larger world as a whole, they have cannons and tanks and shit that can blow even the shifter Titans away.
Yeah.
So as opposed to back when the Marlesian Empire first expanded and they were using the Titans, that they've lost that edge.
Yeah,
and it's only going to get worse.
Air blimps and zeppelins, and they're building aircrafts that can drop bombs now. They're starting to lose their advantages.
So, like I said, I think a solution that takes the shifter Titans out of the equation is the best long-term one.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it's the best long term. It's best for the long term.
The world as a whole.
As a whole?
I'm not talking just about Paradise or Malaysia.
As a whole,
I mean, Marley.
Yeah, but it would also.
Yeah, it's like you also got to consider everyone else in the world who are just.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Until a giant shows up and eats their family.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I got you. Yeah, that's true. Which is kind of messed up. But it's very true.
Marley kind of made their place in the world by abusing it.
Pretty much. And yeah, I agree. I think so like getting into like the Titans are becoming obsolete. We're getting into a very interesting concept, because now it's like it is literally a world war, because what's his name's plan worked. Aaron killed so many people that now the whole world is going to fight Aaron and his team. And
Which
so
was the whole plan of the Uber family. And what else?
Are you saying what else for me to continue, or what else you're trying to think?
Or no, I've more or less finished that thought, but it was all meant to they're setting that up as bait, hoping that Parody would attack and kill a bunch of people there at that specific event.
Yeah,
that's why they held it in the poor section of town.
Yep.
So
there could be cannon
people
fodder.
Will get hurt.
And also how manipulative it was. We need to see the Eldians as a tragedy, not as a, which that's messed up. That's manipulative on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
it's a tragedy we lost our slaves. It's a travesty. These people were human beings, even though we never treated them like it. But a great fight scene ensues, which is super great. Then
fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Everything.
The chaos.
When the ODM gear starts showing up.
Yeah,
once you hear the ODM gear in the background, I was like, "Holy shit, it's happening!"
Yeah. And so like I think so
thing with that, all Titan where he's like freaking out. It's like, I'm a Titan, but they're coming to kill me.
Yeah.
This isn't how it's supposed to.
Well, yeah, he's supposed to have the memories, isn't he? Doesn't he talk about like, I have the memories of Ymir and I saw what you were doing. So he should know that.
He knows, but that's not the same as experiencing it firsthand, I suppose. It's never really expressly stated how they experience those inherited memories, like how vivid.
Season 2 and 3 actually explain it. It's like they lived another life. Like he experiences it, and it's like they can transport themselves into the mind of that other person.
but how it's hard to say how that compares to real world experience.
Yeah. Also with Ymir, I guess Ymir died
Thing.
because they attacked Titans, but because she died in season 2, and that body was recovered by Reiner at the end of season 2 and 3. Oh no, at the end of season 2, because season 3 deals with all that other stuff.
But how definite that is? I mean, like Eren technically should have the founding Titan and the Attack Titan memories, and his father's memories, if that were really true.
He does.
He only gets bits and pieces.
Doesn't he express? Doesn't he?
But he only
gets.
He does, but only in very vague, more bits and pieces.
Wait, did he?
Doesn't have complete absolute recall.
Wait, does he have the founding Titan? I thought Hestia survived. I didn't think he ate her.
No, she's alive, but she's not. She doesn't have the founding Titan's power. She was supposed to. Remember, Eren's father broke in, ate whatever her name is, the one who had it before. During that ceremony, he used the Attack Titan to eat her, so getting him the founding Titan, and then he made Eren transform into Titan and eat him. Eren now has 3 shifter Titan powers, including the Warhammer now.
Wow.
He can't use the founding because he's not of royal blood. He can't use the founding Titan's power unless he's physically touching someone who has,
like Hestia.
Yeah, like her or his dad's previous wife when he touched her. It's the one time, remember when he used it out in the field.
Yeah.
It was because he was touching his dad's wife, Geek's mom.
Yeah.
And he punched her. He tapped into that power briefly. So in theory, as long as he's physically touching someone who has royal blood, he can access the royal founding Titan power.
Which means he can access. So maybe that's why he can't remember that stuff then.
Maybe, but he should be able to remember his father's stuff from the Attack Titan. He never seems to have any that would anyone who had the Attack Titan.
I don't know if that's necessarily true because
it would include Kruger, the owl or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have inherited.
I don't know how true that is because I believe it was the founding Titan who could look at them. That was what was established. It was the founding Titan that can look into the past of the memories. I believe the people who are chosen are of the royal blood because they all heir from the king.
If they people of royal blood can alter people's memories for whatever reason. They don't actually have to have founding Titan's power, as evidenced by the Duke or whatever. Historia's father, he was still able to alter people's memory even though he didn't have founding Titan in him.
Yeah, but that was through a drug, wasn't it?
It was also through physical touch or whatever, because he used that power on Historia and Eren.
So I guess
apparently the royal family appears to be able to exert some manner of power even if they don't actively have a shifter Titan in them.
Interesting.
It seemed to. It's not. We don't get any specific knowledge as to why. And the series as a whole is kind of nebulous in terms of what's magic and what's science.
Well, I from what I understand, everything it's science. Like, I don't think there's a whole
there's
lot
definitely magical elements because, like, take for example the Shifter Titans. You get the power. You have 13 years to live from that point.
Yes.
And if you don't pass it on before then, you die anyway. And if you die without passing it on, someone else is born with that power. There's no scientific way that's possible.
Is that true?
If you die without passing on your shifter Titanborn, someone of Eldian descent will be born with that power.
Huh. I almost want to read the manga now, like reread it.
I'm going to, so I'll let you know if it comes up. But that's definitely something they've discussed in the anime.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
So there's no way to rectify it. There's a lot of other stuff you can be like, okay, you can kind of pseudoscience that out, but there's no way to reconcile that without a magical element.
Yeah. I wonder if it's like. Maybe it's not like maybe that's the explanation that's given, like maybe that's what they say it is, but that's not what it actually is. Like they say that someone else is born with that, but in actuality, it's just a random Titan that eats someone and then gains that power.
That might be true because I mean a lot of the series does kind of have that. You just gotta kind of take their word for it until you get some other information that contradicts it.
Yeah, because like I believe that's happened a few times too. Where
Little we do understand about the Titans. Like we keep only getting little bits and pieces, and it's taken seasons just to know what little bit we do. But that's something that they've outright stated. In the first few episodes of this season, is the reason why Zeke is pushing for them to go back to
Paradise,
and why they're hesitant to kill people without consuming like Aaron and stuff is so if they don't claim the Titan power, and then there's a chance that someone will just be born with it on the island and they're back to square one.
Yeah.
Something that they've actively like account for.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. And then going back to like what we were talking about in the last episode, where Reiner finally wakes up because he doesn't have the will to live. He gets the cries from the children. The children cry out his name. You know what's crazy?
I was like, "Oh, shut up! Just leave him alone."
Yeah, he wanted to die. He literally was
ruining our little victory here.
Yeah. He's all like, I didn't want to do this. God damn it. You guys are keeping me alive. You're giving me a guilty conscience. Also, the children were yelling. Alone. I'm surprised that no one decided to go kill them.
Well, they were all kind of pinned down by, machine gun fire and everything.
No, not at that exact moment. Remember, at
they
that point
could have been
time,
if they went out in the open.
Huh?
I mean, there were still plenty of soldiers on the rooftops that could. I mean, yeah, the cart Titan was taken out, but there are other, gun emplacements and shit.
True. But
also, how far out of your way do you want to go to murder a child?
Fair enough. That's calling out Reiner, though. I feel like anyone who would pass by and hear Reiner, they're like, "Oh, that's the. Ooh, maybe we should.
Yeah. It would have been nice if we got it was just like a cutaway where it shows them like, shit, they're trying to wake up Reiner. They're trying to call Reiner to acknowledge it.
Hey, Rev, how's it going? Yeah, I want them to like acknowledge it in some way because Reiner shows up, and so here's my justification for the because he remember he cracked the thing, he ate the Warhammer Titan, he's beating the crap out of the thing, right? And he still has to open it, rip it out, and eat it.
Go.
What's up?
Really, just kind of he's gotten it to the point where he really just needs to bite into the neck and swallow. This is what I was complaining about earlier, where like you just got to take a bite. Like, there's no reason to delay it, especially when you hear Reiner transforming behind you.
Yeah, just
eat
hurry
it
up
and
then brace yourself for what's about to happen.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason, especially when what's happening right there, to hurry up and finish what you're doing.
Well,
claim that victory.
we'll see what happens in the next episode because Reiner still hasn't attacked yet. Eren still has the jaw
I mean, you know
titan.
how this series go. They're gonna look that up.
And the jaw titan's gonna get away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
I
about
will
right.
be shocked if he doesn't.
So I guess with everything being set up, I honestly think that depending on what happens on the next episode, honestly, this might change. But my predictions for right now, because now we're going to get into predictions. My prediction for right now is this. I feel like Eren is going to die, definitely. Mikasa will
Fair
die.
enough.
I honestly kind of think all of them are going to die. Like all
I
of
want
them.
Hanji to live, but I think she's gonna die, and I'm dreading it.
Did you say Manji or Sasha?
Hanj.
Hanj?
Hanj.
Oh,
Hanji.
Hanj. I think Hanj might be one of the few that lives.
I want her to. I'll be so happy if she does.
She's so
But
creepy.
I'm. She knows she's weird, and she doesn't give a shit. She's like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
I think out of all of the people, I feel like the deaths that would make sense would be Levi, Eren, and Mikasa. I feel the deaths that would hit the hardest would be Armin, Hanj, and Eren. Obviously Sasha, Connor. I feel like they're in that limbo where they actually might survive. See, because it depends on where
but I feel like they're gonna like kill them for dramatic effect.
Yeah, but like
they've only let us get attached to them so they can kill them while we watch.
This is true.
Show's kind of sadistic like that.
It is, but this show also like really captures because they've captured this idea, in our heads, right? And indoctrinating us and all this other stuff. But now we're looking at it from the other side. And like the show preface, they are now the bad guys. Even though we're attached to Eren, they are the bad guys.
Yeah, but because they're doing that, they're setting up kind of to show that, they're going to kill them and they're going to deserve it.
Yes. But also, they could kill them and leave like Sasha or Hanj or some of them alive. Either they're gonna kill them all, or they're
to leave like a few of them to like go back and take the lessons they learned. Be like, shit, got to go be a better society now.
Yeah, and
well, I hope.
I feel like Reiner could die, but I feel like narratively, I feel like he has to live to complete his arc. Like narratively, Reiner has to be
just from within. Has to die just to satisfy the rules of the universe they live in. The clock is ticking. He's only got a 2 months left till he dies.
Reiner.
Reiner's only got a couple years left. Inheriting the Titan.
Yeah, he inherited the Titan when he was 12. They are 20 years old right now. If it's 13 years, he has 5 years left to live. Zeke is the one who has a year left. Because remember, Zeke is older than
he's still out there who has less than a year. Okay.
Yeah, Reiner still has at least 5 years.
Still not a lot of time.
Yeah, because remember, he got there when they were 12.
He's got 5 years and he doesn't want to live them.
Yeah. But like to complete
I get what you're saying, though, where it would be satisfying for his arc if he kind of frees himself from his indoctrination and kind of gets a renewed sense of purpose and decides to live life by his own terms. It goes off. But even if he does, he only has, like I said, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but it also gives him time to mentor Falco. It gives him because remember, you see that relationship with him and Falco. He's like, right, you have to free him from the burden of who we are. Because remember, Falco, when they're in the train on the first episode, and they're talking about all.
I mean, it seems like what they were originally setting up was Falco was going to inherit Reiner's gift. But I don't know.
I think what they were, I disagree. Like when I saw that, I said, yeah, that looks like what it looks like it's setting up, but I feel like it's more of a mentorship because Reiner and Falco are having the same struggles. Falco, when we see him in episode 1, he is trying to help the enemy.
Look like a young version of him for that purpose.
Yeah,
that he would see himself in him.
Yeah,
they're basically identical, other than the age gap.
Pretty much. But you also see there's humanity in Falco. Falco is able to see both. He's able to sympathize with the other side.
Haven't been able to beat, but that's something that young Reiner had, and he had it beaten out of him. And
no, young Reiner didn't have that. Remember Reiner in his flashback, he called someone out. He says, "Are you sympathizing with the Paradise?" He's like hating the Paradise. The other guy, Petco, he's all like sympathizing with Paradise, hating on Paradise and the Devils doesn't make you unique. Because remember, Reiner wanted to rat out the other guy. He's like, "I'll tell the corporate."
I'm talking about even like going before that. Like he got bullied for being too sensitive and kind of overcompensated and became what you're describing.
Really? I don't remember him being that sensitive. I don't remember him being sympathetic. I remember him being
very beginning of the match. Yeah,
like I remember. No, but that's what I'm saying is Falco was the one who was weak. I don't remember. All right, let's do this. So, I think so. Like, Attack on Titan is like one of those shows that I feel like either they're all gonna die or a very select few of them will live. Because it's hard to play out how they want to play this out. Do they want to do the pessimistic route where Eren wins and the whole town is destroyed, or do they want to do it where like it has a positive ending? And I say positive and negative as if anything in the show is going to be positive because it's not that simple. But from the way they play it, I just feel like it's going to kill. Okay, so I guess I should do predictions for the next episode before I try to do one for the whole series because it is a bunch of speculation. But I do feel like Reiner's going to live at the end. I feel like Mikasa might live, Levi might die. Armin, if they kill him, that'll destroy me.
Levi might die, not Levi.
Levi might die.
I definitely think he's going to die. There's going to be some kind of heroic sacrifice or whatever.
For Armin?
It's just...
Because they sometimes Attack on Titan likes to do something where they just kill someone and they don't even give you an explanation. They've done that to major characters.
Oh, yeah. That is kind of why I can't give a lot of solid predictions on this, because this show kind of keeps you on your toes that way. Like, I really don't know on a larger scale what's going to go. I can see from a narrative point, like some of the deaths they're setting up. Like I said, I think Gabby is going to kill Sasha. I don't want it to happen, but it seems to be what they're like laying in clues that's going to be the case. Levi, just in terms of his arc for the whole series, it's set up that he's going to go down swinging. It's just a big anime trope thing. And I don't think he can escape that death. Beyond that, this show, like, nobody's safe.
No.
Nobody's ever safe in the show.
I don't even think
I really don't have any... she could still very easily die. I think Armin is a good candidate for, like, was left standing at the end. Even then, I can't say anything for sure. We will see. We'll talk about it again next week, next Tuesday, when we'll catch up on the new episode.
Oh, does it come out?
Talk about it
Tuesday?
nearly as long as we did this. We talked for like 2 hours about this week.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Jeez. But yeah, okay. So like next episode, then, what do you think's gonna happen in the next episode?
I think Aaron's gonna fuck up killing that guy. That's something I feel very strongly about. It's like there's no reason why he can't just eat that guy real quick and then go fight Reiner, but I'm sure he's gonna screw it up.
Here's what I hope. because I'm going to counter your prediction where I think what's going to happen is he's going to look at the guy, eat him real quick. Reiner's going to come up and deck him, or he's going to eat him real quick and swallow him, and Aaron's going to be able to escape.
Okay. That honestly, I like that last bit. Like he's able to use the newly gained powers from the Jaw Titan to be more swift, and that's because they showed like scenes from the next episode. They didn't show much, but they did show Aaron chilling on the blimp. So I think maybe he uses the Jaw Titan's swiftness to escape and get onto the blimp.
Because I feel like they have to establish the hopelessness. Like the thing is Reiner's there, so he's able to push them away. But I don't think he is. They're going to, because this shows a lot of the preview shows a lot of tension. It looks like like they're now going to go and plan everything. Like they get on the blimp. Aaron, Mikasa, Armin, and all of them are going to have a discussion of what to do next and what just happened, because we got to figure it, because it looks like.
But you got so few glimpses though. You really just
the preview's only 10 seconds long, and they keep it so vague.
Yeah,
which I like. That's how a preview should be.
I like it too.
You hear me, new Spider-Man trailers? That's how a preview should be. Vague with just a hint of anticipation.
Oh, you don't like it when the entire twist of the movie is spoiled in a trailer?
No. So, like, what are your predictions for the next episode of Attack on Titan? Because it comes out next Tuesday, right? Or is today Tuesday? It comes out today?
No, it comes out next Monday. Or, Sunday at midnight, really.
Okay, so
when
Monday.
It becomes available on Hulu.
So we'll be able to talk about it next Tuesday. That's what you said. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to express. But beyond Aaron fucking up that thing with the Jaw Titan, I really don't know. Like I said, this series keeps you on your toes, so it's hard to make long-term predictions. Other than those two deaths, I feel like I've got coming. That's all I can really say.
I feel like it's gonna be. So I feel like this is gonna be an aftermath episode. So I feel like. Well, I don't.
Yeah, think it does feel like this one's going to cool down for a little bit in terms of the action.
I want to say it's going to be where we will see the. I don't think Aaron's going to fuck it up. I think he'll be able to eat. Oh, shoot, because they have a relationship. Because again, narratively, it would make sense for Aaron to fuck it up because Reiner will have that closure. With that one character, because the character who's currently Jaws has tension with Reiner.
Yeah.
Because of their brother and all that other stuff.
Mm.
But it'd be very messed up, and it would be a huge victory for Aaron to get the Jaw Titan, for them to move on, for them to talk about stuff. And Reiner has to deal with Falco and what's her name? Gabby. Because Gabby's obviously the I want to kill them all. Falco is like, we have to get revenge on Eren Yeager. But he also is kind of like, you can see him kind of struggling with that as well. Because
he is. It's very sheltered. Like, he believes this stuff because he has been told to believe it rather than wholeheartedly believing it.
Yeah, and he's also
Gabby is fully on board with the killing and stuff, but Aka is more nebulous on it.
Yeah, which is crazy. I also think they're gonna reintroduce Falco's brother because he's still alive.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
And
he hasn't come up that much, honestly.
Oh yeah, Zeke is down. Is Zeke gonna make it?
Because
they didn't protect Zeke. They got him.
You saw Levi. I think Levi has probably got Zeke tied up somewhere or something. Like, he probably cut off his arms and legs, and he's gonna torture him a little bit to get revenge for Erwin. But him not finishing him off is going to bite them in the ass. That's my prediction for that. He used that explosive to take out the nape of the Beast Titan. So Zeke has Levi. That's pretty much what Levi's I mean, yeah, Levi has Zeke. That's what's going on with them.
I think
It's not expressly shown, but it's implied.
I think Zeke might be eaten by Aaron. I think Aaron will eat Zeke. Not the next episode, but I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I long term, I think that's definitely a possibility. His half brother, you know.
Yeah.
But, I don't think it's going to happen immediately. I think there's going to be a scene in this next episode where Levi like tortures Zeke, but then gets interrupted. And they lose that little victory because they didn't finish him off. Levi
Really?
definitely seems to have Zeke at his mercy.
Yeah. And I think Mikasa and Aaron and Armin are all going to have a discussion.
Yeah, that I hope so. Just it's be nice to see what's going on with them.
Yeah, I think this episode's going to establish why Aaron did what he did, and it's going to and Reiner's going to be talking to Falco and Gabby, and they're going to have Gabby's going to have misgivings.
I do think we do need that where they just catch up for an episode, like explain their motivations and what's going on and why, and also what's been going on, back on Parody for the last 40 years.
Yeah. And I think that's it. I think we got through a time.
Yeah, we will. I mean, we're gonna have this 1 week from now, another one of these, a shorter one, hopefully. I definitely didn't mean for this to be 3 hours talking about Attack on Titan.
Well, we talked about other stuff as well.
Yeah, politics that somehow directly tied into Attack on Titan.
Like, almost too perfectly.
Yeah.
And in addition, we also talked about games a little bit that also tied in perfectly. And we got rated.
It's all thematically very satisfying.
Yes, even though it was not planned at all.
Not even a slightly bit.
Which is weird. I find that weird. I'm debating on whether, because I mean, this would be a good point to end it, because like one of the things I was talking about before the stream, and I guess I'll end with this, because like I guess we're wrapping it up now. Is the fact that I've been very tired lately because my sleep schedule's been off. Like yesterday, I was up till 2 a.m. streaming. I didn't realize.
Oh yeah. Don't do that. This is a good jumping off point.
Like I didn't realize. So what I think I'm gonna do is, because I'm off my schedule, I fell off and I've become less productive and I felt like shit over it. Also, it's very humid and hot right now. I don't think I'm showing it, but it is. I'm sweating, and it is super humid and so hot, and I'm just like. So I think I'm going to turn on my fan to bring some cool air in here. I don't have it now because the fan would be loud. But I'm definitely going to turn on my fan and I'm going to go to sleep. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know if I'm going to upload this on YouTube or not. It's kind of just us rambling, honestly.
Maybe if you edit it down to the salient points.
I probably can.
We did about 3 hours. I think you could get about a good half hour out of it, maybe.
Well, out of my 3-hour stream, I was able to get a good 2 hours out of it.
Okay.
So
yeah, there's definitely a lot of fat to trim. Like when you leave to go get water for 10 minutes at the beginning of every stream.
I do that. It's because I drink the water so fast. I'm out of water right now, and I need more.
Yeah, just know they make water.
I should just get a jug. I should clean out a jug. And get a giant jug.
Get yourself a pitcher and just keep it by the desk.
No, a jug. Like an actual jug. All right. Well, with that, I love you guys so much.
Love you too, Justice.
Bohab, thank you so much for joining me. And I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time out of your day and spending it with me here. I love you guys so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.